Harry thought that nothing, or no one, could hurt him. He thought he was untouchable. He wasn't. He was 14, body moving faster than his brain. Strong enough to throw a punch, dumb enough to think it meant something. He mistook disruption for respect, mistook defiance for power. And everyone knew it. He was good for a laugh, never for loyalty. His classmates didn't like him. They didn't respect him. They egged him on because he was unpredictable, high-risk entertainment. He might mouth off, shove a chair, pick a fight. It was something to watch, something to laugh at, but nothing more. No one would have called him a friend. No one was behind him that day. They didn't need to be. This wasn't alpha or beta behavior. It was Harry being Harry. Reckless, volatile, and wired to blow himself up. But beneath the swagger was deformity. Not of body, but of wiring. His thoughts didn't branch. They collapsed. And the maddest part? He knew better. Mr. Locke wasn't just another teacher. 6'5", broad as a security guard. Built from another era. In his 60s, yes, but still carrying himself like the veteran he was. Decorated in Vietnam. The kind of presence you couldn't fake. The kind of man who couldn't be rattled. Locke had bodies on him. Many bodies. And he didn't hide from that. He didn't deny it. It was public record. Everybody knew this. Harry knew this. And still, it didn't matter. The story goes like this. Late in '96, Harry walked into class with a fresh piercing in his ear, tugging at it, waiting for someone to notice. Locke noticed. Of course he did. He smirked and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Nice earring. Makes you look like a bit of a sissy." And that was it. The pause. For a heartbeat, Harry had options. He could shrug, crack a joke back, grin like it didn't bother him. He could sit down and let it pass. The doors were open. But then the thought came, fast and obliterating. If you don't swing now, you're finished. Every other possibility evaporated. It wasn't logic. It wasn't choice. It was wiring. The same wiring that would have fired if it were a peer, a cop, anyone. Harry didn't bend. He only went one way. Lash out now, even if it meant self-destruction. Most kids would have thought twice. Maybe they'd laugh it off now and get their payback later. Scratch a car, start a rumour, find a petty way to bleed it back. But not Harry. He couldn't calculate. He couldn't delay. He couldn't even imagine another outcome. The chair screeched across the floor as he shoved it back. He stormed forward, chest out, already convinced there was only one road left. He swung. But Locke wasn't an ordinary 60-year-old. He didn't flinch. He didn't even duck. Harry's fist came swinging, wild and full of teenage power. and Locke's hand was already there, clamping his wrist mid-arc like he'd been waiting for it. One seamless motion, twist, step, drag. In an instant, Harry's arm was pulled behind his back, bent at an impossible angle. Locke didn't raise his voice. He didn't puff or sweat. He just moved, slow and methodical. A machine 30 years out of commission, but still tuned for this exact kind of chaos. Within seconds, Harry was bent at a right angle, shoulder and face pressed into the desk. His own trapped arm the lever pinning him there. He thrashed, but the more he fought, the tighter the lock became. Locke stood over him, breathing steady, like the hardest part of his day would be stacking chairs when the bell went. The room saw it all. A boy who thought himself untouchable detonated and contained so effortlessly that the punch never even existed. The insult of being called a sissy was nothing compared to this. Being folded up and neutralized, displayed to everyone as less than a threat, less than a man, just another boy in over his head. Harry still bucked, and as he struggled, Locke leant in, calm as anything, his voice cutting, low and sharp. You can resist all you want, but you'll dislocate your shoulder, and you won't be able to play with yourself for about a month. It wasn't a threat. It was knowledge. Cold military knowledge, delivered with the precision of someone who'd lived through way worse. The Year 9 coordinator's office was right next door. He would have heard the chair slam, the shouting, the commotion. Within seconds, he was in the doorway, two assistant principals close behind, pulled in by the noise. Locke still had Harry pinned. He let go only when the others stepped in, as if handing him over to proper custody. They dragged him out by both arms, feet skidding across the lino. His bravado was gone, voice cracking, thin and panicked. What? What did I do? They gripped on his arms tighter. I didn't do nothing, he barked, louder this time, desperate. His words swallowed by the slam of the corridor door. By the next morning, his desk was empty. His name wasn't even on the roll. It was as if he'd never been there. But what stung wasn't the silence from the school. It was the silence from everyone else. The ones who'd laughed when he stood up. The ones who nudged each other and whispered, "Go on, do it." They weren't friends. They weren't allies. They didn't fear him in the way that meant respect. They only wanted the show. And once the show was over, they dropped it. No one asked where he went. No one visited. No one carried his name forward. The laughter didn't stop. It just shifted to something else. Harry wasn't missed. Not by anyone. That was the real end of it. Not the fight. Not the dragging out. Not even the suspension or the expulsion. It was the silence that followed. The erasure. All that size, all that swagger, and the only thing left of him was a rumour that he'd tried to swing at the one man he could never touch and been folded in half in front of everyone. Even in that raw stage of calculating right and wrong, no one stood up for Harry. No one claimed that Locke had goaded him, fanned the flames, or provoked him. They knew there was no point. If it hadn't been Locke that day, it would have been someone else. Someone bigger, meaner, less forgiving. Locke neutralized him without breaking a sweat, and in doing so, he spared him. Harry never understood the favour he'd been given. I'd love to hear what you think. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you found this story entertaining, hit that like button and don't forget to explore more content on my channel. See you in the next one.